Hello peeps, this is Tango and welcome back to Tango's World Effects. Today I will be reading Accidentally in Love, Chapter 15, The Slide. Before I continue, I'm just going to let you guys know that I'm not going to be reading the notes anymore for most fics unless I find that, it's something important that I should be reading for you guys, because a lot of the times it's just the writers, saying something that was relevant at the time that they posted it. So I'll read the summary, but not the notes unless I feel like it makes sense to add it in there. Okay, here's the summary. Ayura makes a plan. Hiroshi takes a leap. The weather has been the nicest it ever has this season, and were there not a floating chunk of house above the local park, Hiroshi would consider sitting on the swings and bathing in the sunset. Cut cables and leaking pipes poke out of the bottom floors as the room spins in the delicate rotation. It floats just right above the slide, and judging by the rungs of its ladder, it is rising slowly further into the air. Hiroshi, with his left and right shoes on the opposite foot, stares up in horror. Oh no. Ayura crosses her arms over her chest. Yep, it's bad. Everyone can see him. Everyone can see him. The mixture of emotions Hiroshi has felt towards Kusuo in the past 24 hours is enough to make him sick. His stomach churns with heartbreak, frustration, and worry, the latter of which being the strongest of them all. What do we do? How do we get him down? Yeah, so that's the part I'm still trying to figure out. His brother helped me track him down, then gave zero ideas of what to do next. She brings up a hand to cradle her chin. I don't know if he can hear us, but if he can... Kusuo! Ayura clamps that same hand over Hiroshi's mouth. Wait a minute! If his powers are acting up because he's upset, we don't want to upset him more. We gotta be really careful about what we say. She drops her hand, and Hiroshi stares back up at the bedroom in wonder. It hadn't truly occurred to him just until now just how powerful Kusuo really is. Sure, his friend had levitated him across the river, but Hiroshi was unconscious for that. Also, he nearly erased the very concept of homophobia and transphobia from the world, which Hiroshi was only subconsciously aware of. But this, a physical representation of Kusuo's abilities hovering right over his head, no less, it certainly contextualizes a few things. What if Kusuo really had let go at the arcade? Would his throw have been strong enough to break through the wall, even if he was only throwing a felt baseball? Hiroshi knew he had been nervous, but maybe he had mistaken an outward uneasiness for inward distress. He hadn't known Kusuo had been holding this much back, and that's assuming they're even witnessing his full demonstration of his abilities. I'm thinking I'll try talking to him first, yeah? Then you can come in and say something. I don't know. Just something to get him down is all that really matters. Hiroshi's pulse quickens as if he were minutes from turning in an exam. What is even going on? You only told me your name and that Kusuo was in trouble. But now you're telling me that this happened because he's upset? Because of him. Because what he said last night. His heart plummets. Oh no. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't. I can't. I'll only make it worse. And Kusuo is going to get caught. And then everyone will know his secret. And Ayura yanks on his sleeve to cut him off. Listen, I don't want to go invading your personal lives, especially Saiki's. But I gotta know what set him off if we want to fix this. Give me the rundown. Hiroshi feels the cold of the rain seep back into his bones. We broke up last night. Well, I said I wanted a break, which doesn't mean we broke up, but my friends said it did, which I really didn't want. But maybe in the moment I did. Why did you break up? Well, my dad... No, the wound is still too fresh. Even with the new salve put on it. He clears his throat and tries again. Something happened between my family a while ago that, Well, Kusuo, He used his powers to, erase homophobia, and so it kind of felt like the incident with my folks was unresolved, which wasn't their fault, and it wasn't even Kusuo's fault. Not really. Well, it was, but it was unintentional. And when you found out, you were upset. Yeah. Hey, Aira gives him a small smile. I get it. The guy means a lot to me. I would be pretty mad too. I just wish he had told me sooner, before it all got to my head. He mumbles. But I didn't mean to make him feel bad about it. This is horrible. I just don't know how to help other than just say I'm sorry. You don't need to be sorry about how you feel, Aira scolds him suddenly. Besides, I kind of get the feeling that more is going on here than we realize. Then why do you need my help? She stares at him with a sort of longing, one that he can't quite understand. You don't know how good you were for him, do you? Huh? You made him smile, like, actually smile, dimples and everything. You know how many times I've seen him genuinely smile before? Once, maybe twice. He didn't even have to be with you, and I'd catch him beaming to himself. I've never seen him so happy. It was like he finally found someone to take his mind off of himself. A sprinkle of pride is added to Hiroshi's emotional smorgasbord. What? What do you mean by off himself? Aira gestures above them. He's never admitted it, but I know that his powers are more than an inconvenience to him. I think that they really bother him. They make him feel different, like bad different. You made him feel better about them. At least I think so. You accepted him for who he is and took the time to get to know the guy and not just the psychic talents. Hiroshi bites his lip, glancing down at his mixed-matched shoes. Until I didn't. You don't have to forgive him. Hell, if you broke up yesterday, then you're probably not ready to. But maybe you can. I don't know. Just, tell him that you're mad about the poor communication and not about his abilities, okay? If that's what's going on here anyways, we're not sure. But like I said, I'll talk to him first, and then you can come in after. Sound like a plan? A very loose plan, but he lets out a sigh. This is a lot. But Kusuo's safety comes first, regardless of how overwhelming that this afternoon has turned out to be. Let's try it. Aira flashes a nervous smile. Cool, so I guess I'll climb the slide and try yelling into the room. Come on. The coast remains clear as Aira scales the ladder. But their luck is bound to run out eventually. Hiroshi follows her close behind, mindful of where his gaze lands, looking upwards. Aira glances back down at him. Here, I'll scoot over. Get up here with me. And so he joins her at the top, palms sweating. He tightens his slippery grip on the metal bars as Aira cups a hand to her mouth. Saiki, can you hear me? There is no response. The lack of time is pushing Hiroshi's patience, but before he can holler himself, Aira nudges his side. He's talking into my head. He says he can't move. He can't move his bedroom? Why? She stares off for a moment. Not just the room, but him too. Says his powers are too unstable and that we need to leave. He's worried about hurting us. Hiroshi gauges the distance between the top of the ladder and the open bedroom door. It's reasonable. Just a well-timed jump and a little bit of upper body strength. Tell him he doesn't need to worry about us, right now. We just need to get him out of there. I already did. He's just brushing me off. Aira grimaces suddenly. And now he's asking who's with me. This, may be your cue to step in. Hiroshi can barely hear her over his own heartbeat. He clears his throat, staring into the cracked doorway. Kusuo? It's gonna be alright. Just stay calm, okay? He waits for a familiar echo of Kusuo's voice in his head, but the only voice to be heard is his own, chastising him for going through with such a terrible plan. Of course Kusuo doesn't actually want to talk to him. Hiroshi doesn't really want to talk to him either. Not forever, of course. Just not when everything is still so painful and... Hiroshi jumps, and Aira has to grab his arms to keep him from falling. Kusuo's voice is much louder in his head than before, and yet distant, as if he were screaming at the end of a very long tunnel. Hey, Kusuo, are you okay in there? Ayura winces like she just bit into a ripe lemon. Saiki, not to worry you, but you are kind of floating in the middle of a park, so if you don't want to move, you gotta give us an idea of how to get you out of here, okay? The hinges on Kusuo's door groan weakly as his bedroom starts to tremble. Hiroshi turns to Ayura in a panic. What if I just grabbed him? I don't think we should be going in there with all the cracks in the floor, she retorts. There were cracks? I didn't even notice. Yeah, huh? And they don't look good. Saiki, take a deep breath or something. There's no one around to see you. The bedroom tips back suddenly, with the door frame rising far too high above their heads to jump through. Hiroshi climbs over one bar higher until he is crouching over the top rung. Kusuo, it's okay, Kusuo. Just tell us what we can do to help you. If you don't want to move, that's all right. We'll do whatever you think is best. Leave. The response is harsh, but not unexpected. Hiroshi bites his lip. Okay, I understand. You deserve your space, and I'm probably stressing you out more. I'm so sorry for how I reacted last night. I should have... No! It's like a shotgun blast right by his ear, and Hiroshi scrunches to the side of his head down into his shoulder. He grits his teeth as the room abandons its gentle rotation and accelerates into a full-on spin. Satou-kun, are you okay? Ayura asks. I'm fine. Kusuo, can you still hear me? Sorry, my volume is getting harder to control. You need to leave, both of you. It's too dangerous with my powers like this. I'm sorry. Hiroshi smiles, hoping it reflects in his voice. You have nothing to apologize for. I know how hard it is for you to control your strength sometimes. This isn't your fault. No, I'm sorry about... Oh. Don't worry about that right now. The only thing that you have to worry about is taking care of yourself, okay? There is no response, and after a minute of waiting, Hiroshi suspects that there won't be one. The room's spin has slowed down somewhat, but the door frame is still angled too upward to reach. He won't talk to me anymore, he tells Ayura. Can you think of something else? Ayura frowns fretfully. Well, he can certainly still hear us, I think. Maybe try talking to him about... Mommy, look! A spaceship! With a start, the two of them look down to find that they have witnesses. A little girl, no older than 5, with 2 pigtails and a gleeful grin, and her horror-stricken mother, who is clutching her hand tightly and backing away. How they hadn't seen the floating room until it was right on top of them is a mystery, but with Kusuo's powers in a state that they are, Hiroshi suspects that they may have mistaken it for something else, or nothing at all, until it was right before them. Can I get a spaceship? I want to get on the spaceship! Crack! Hiroshi doesn't know what breaks within the bedroom, but he knows that it sends the door frame jutting back down to his level. And that's when his last thread of patience snaps. He jumps inside. That was dumb, is all he can think about before his gut slams into the floor and the air is pushed from his lungs. He digs his hands into the carpet and pulls himself up, just as the floor juts back upwards and sends him into a somersault. He rolls over and lands flat on his back, right next to Kusuo's desk. Underneath it sits a kitty, with the whitest fur and the cutest eyes Hiroshi has ever seen. Satou-kun! Ayura screams. What are you doing? Get out of... Whoosh! The room goes spinning again, and this time much, much faster than before. Hiroshi is glad he hadn't tried to stand back up again, because instead of rolling hard into the wall, he would have flown into it with a resounding splat. Oh my gosh. He braces himself as best as he can, covering his head between his arms, as the furniture is tossed all about the room. Kusuo's desk, the television, the various knickknacks go flying every which way. His cat, however, is miraculously unbothered by the change in motion. It begins licking its paws without a care in the world. Hiroshi tries to find Kusuo amidst the storm, but locks eyes with the bookshelf that is very much coming his way. There is no way for him to dodge it. He curls up further into a ball, hoping gravity will naturally knock it aside. But It's not the laws of motion that come to his aid. Instead, a single raised hand from Kusuo, who lays rigid in his bed from the far side of the room. The bookshelf hovers right above Hiroshi's head, and as it is inched slowly away from him, the other objects within the room drop unexpectedly back to the floor. Hiroshi sits up on his hands and knees, only to realize the room itself has stopped spinning. The bookshelf, too, then falls, startling Hiroshi as he leaps to his feet. The window is just within his sight, and outside it, there's nothing but clouds. He blinks, then blinks again. Yeah, he'll just ignore the clouds for now. The bookshelf may be set down, but Kusuo's hand is still raised high above his head. Hiroshi walks calmly up to his bedside. His pink hair is terribly disheveled, but thankfully his glasses have stayed perfectly fixed on the bridge of his nose. Hiroshi can safely lean over his face and read his admittedly painful expression. Hiroshi takes his raised hand in his own. Don't. If I move it down slowly, do you think that would be okay? Kusuo's gaze darts away as if he were looking at something far too bright. Maybe. Hiroshi nods carefully, over the course of several anxious minutes, lowers Kusuo's hand so it lays flush against his side again. There! That should be more comfortable. Now, I have to ask, how do we get back down? That's the end of the chapter. I have a blooper because my brother walked in at one point, so you're gonna hear that. Also, if there's a point here at the end, where you might hear that there's a cut and then I sound much more, tired, I guess, with my voice. That's because, I paused because I realized the new My Hero episode came out. If you guys don't know My Hero Academia, please watch it. There's bad parts of the fandom, but that doesn't matter. Don't pay attention to that. The show is good. Ignore the fandom if you have to, if that's what it takes. I mean, there is good parts of the fandom, though, so, go to those ones. If you can, find them. Also, my chair is super squeaky. Don't mind that. So, basically, I was watching the last episode, and I was screaming at it. So, my voice is very dead now. So, fun! I love this chapter. It was amazing. The next chapter is called Hawaii, so I'm thinking maybe they are in Hawaii now. Because Kusuo maybe teleported them, or I don't know. Anyways, that's crazy. That's so fun. Great chapter. We love this. Angst. Amazing. I love that the people saw them and they were like, whoa! And the kid was like, whoa! And that was like, whoa! And so, yeah, I'm gonna go now. Bloopers. This is Tango signing off. Bye. And judging by the... Dude, I'm recording. What is it?
The lemons.
The lemons?
Do I have to do them? Because there's no...
What do you mean?
Do I have to do more?
No, you're good.
Okay.
You got the lemons.
Can I watch Hunter x Hunter now?
Sure.
Bet.
Just don't put it too loud because I'm recording.
Oh no, I'll just put it on high deku blast.
High deku blast? You're gonna put it on Texas Smash? What? Okay, I'm gonna add this in my bloopers. Okay. Never mind. I'm doing another outro because the other outro. I have to say something. I have to say that there is 2 chapters left of this fic. There is 16, which is the next one, and there's 17. So, that is exciting. Now I'm leaving. Bye. This is Tango signing off once again.